Oh, there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimikong.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chapter 10, Section 2 of Jane Eyre, an Autobiography.
As.
Ah.
Jane Eyre, an Autobiography. Brontë. Chapter 10, Section 2. How I wish sleep would silence her. It seemed as if I stood at the window. Some inventive suggestion would rise from my relief. Miss Gray snored at last. She was a heavy Welshwoman, other light than as a nuisance. Tonight I held the first deep notes with satisfaction. I was debarrassed of interruption. My half-effaced thought instantly revived. A new servitude. There is something in that, I soliloquized mentally. Be it understood. I did not talk aloud. I know there is. Because it does not sound too sweet. It is not like such woods as liberty, excitement, enjoyment, delightful sounds truly, but no more than sounds for me. Then, but servitude, that must be matter of fact. Anyone may serve. I have served Terry to years. Now all I want is to serve elsewhere. Can I not get so much of my own will? Is not the thing feasible? Yes, the thing is not so difficult. I sat up in bed by way of arousing the side brain. It was a chilly night. I covered my shoulders with a shawl, and then I proceeded to think again with all my might. What do I want? A new place. In a new house. Amongst new faces. Under new circumstances. I want this because it is of no use wanting anything better. How do people do to get a new place? They apply to friends. I suppose. I have no friends. There are many others who have no friends, who must look about for themselves and be their own helpers. I could not tell. Nothing answered me. I then ordered my brain to find a response. And quickly. It worked and worked faster. I felt the pulses stop in my head and temples. But for nearly an hour I worked in chaos. And no result came from its efforts. Feverish with vain labour, I got up and took a turn in the room. Under the curtain, noted a star or two, shivered with cold, and again crept to bed. A kind fairy, in my absence, had surely dropped the required suggestion on my pillow. For as I lay down, it came quietly and naturally to my mind those who want situations advertise. How? Replies rose smooth and prompt now. Directed to the editor of the Herald. You must put it. The first opportunity you have. Into the post at Loughton. Answers must be addressed to J. At the post office there. You can go and inquire in about a week after you send your letter. If an Eyre come. This scheme I went over twice. Thought. It was then digested in my mind. I had it in a clear, practical form. I felt satisfied. And fell asleep. With the last day. I was upped. had my advertisement written, enclosed, and directed before the bell rang to rouse the school. It ran thus: 14. I thought that, as I was barely 18, it would not do to undertake the guidance of pupils near my own age. She is qualified to teach the usual branches of a good English education, together with French, drawing, and music in those days. Reader, this now narrow catalogue of accomplishments would have been held tolerably comprehensive. Address: J.U. Post Office, Wilton. This document remained locked in my drawer all day. After tea, I asked leave of the new superintendent to go to Loughton. Fellow teachers. Permission was readily granted. I went. It was a walk of 2 miles, and the evening was wet, but the days were still long. I visited a shop or two, slipped the letter into the post office, and came back through heavy rain, with streaming garments, but with a relieved heart. The succeeding week seemed long. It came to an end at last. However, like all sublunary things, and once more, towards the close of a pleasant autumn day, I found myself afoot on the road to Loughton. A picturesque track it was, by the way, lying along the side of the beck and through the sweetest curves of the dale. But that day I thought more of the letters, and then of the charms of Lea and water. My ostensible errand on this occasion was to get measured for a pair of shoes, so I discharged that business first, and when it was done, I stepped across the clean and quiet little street from the shoemaker's to the post office. It was kept by an old dame, who wore horn spectacles on her nose, and black mittens on her hands. "Are there any letters for G?" I asked. She peered at me over her spectacles, and then she opened a drawer and fumbled among its contents for a long time, so long that my hopes began to flutter. At last, having held a document before her glasses for nearly 5 minutes, she presented it across the counter, accompanying that by another inquisitive and mistrustful glance. It was for J.E. "Is there only one?" I demanded. "There are no more," said she, and I put it in my pocket and turned my face homeward. I could not open it then. Rules obliged me to be back by 8, and it was already 7:30. Various duties awaited me on my arrival. I had to sit with the girls during their hour of study. Then it was my turn to read prayers, to see them to bed. Afterwards I supped with other teachers. Even when we finally retired for the night, the inevitable Miss Grice was still my companion. We had only a short end of kindle in our candlestick, and I dreaded lest she should talk till it was all burnt out. Fortunately, however, the heavy supper she had eaten produced a soporific effect. She was already snoring before I had finished undressing. There still remained an inch of kindle. I now took out my letter. The seal was an initial F. I broke it. The contents were brief. If J. He advertised in the Shire Herald of last Thursday. As this is the requirements mentioned. To be continued.